I've recently been feeling overwhelmed. I've been working on a secret project and I didn't even want to start. It felt like such a big project in my mind that I didn't even end up starting it. It felt like such a big obstacle in my path that I just ended up not doing it. I was so overwhelmed that I didn't do it. And this continued because the size of the task isn't going to change no matter how much I wait and I prolong it. It's still a big task that I have to do. And one strategy that helped me to actually get over it is chunking. Chunking is where you break down the task into a smaller piece, a bite-sized chunk. That means that you, instead of seeing the whole big task and how big and scary it is, you're only seeing a small baby task instead. And everybody can do a small baby task. That's not a problem, right? We can easily do something like open up a Google Word doc, for example. We can easily do that. The problem comes when we don't use it, because obviously we know this works. We know how chunking and breaking it down works, but the problem is actually using it. It's like a marathon, for example. Imagine you had to run a super marathon with 100 miles in it. Would you think of the whole marathon while you're at the very beginning? No, of course not. Instead, you would think about how you only have to take one step at a time. And after that, you'll just keep taking one more step, until you eventually reach the finish line. That's exactly how chunking works. You only focus on the very first and the next step, and you just keep repeating it over and over again until you're done with the task. And guess what? With chunking, you don't need motivation, because chunking makes you not only start the task, but it makes you keep going. It gives you momentum, because once you start, it's much easier to keep going. You can probably agree with me with this. You can probably imagine a time where you didn't want to start something, and yet the moment that you started, you ended up finishing the whole thing. That's what momentum is. That's why we want chunking to start now. We want to use chunking now, because it will make it easy to start and easy to keep going. And now the only thing left is for you to actually use it. So we know why it works, what works. All we need to do is actually use it. So I want you to picture in your mind that one thing that you've been feeling overwhelmed in. And now I need you to imagine the smallest possible thing you could do to make progress towards it. It's honestly as simple as tying your shoes or opening up a Google Doc. And once you have that single step in your mind, I need you to do it. And again, it's going to be easy because it's a small little task. And when you start, you'll end up finishing the whole thing.